This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. From today, we'll be discussing about RDBMS concepts, and the software we're going to be using is that SQL Server software given by Microsoft. Okay. So before starting the training, let us understand what are the things goonlinetrainings.com is offering to you. Daily 1 hour classes will be there Monday to Friday, and strictly Monday to Friday. We don't have classes on Saturday and Sunday. All live classes recorded videos are shared with you on the same day. Interview questions are shared. Case studies are provided for the practice purpose. Case studies, it will be very basic to very complex case studies you will have. Very soon you will get the case studies. Interview tips and tricks are provided. CV preparation guidance is given if you wanted to apply for any SQL jobs. Software is given and installation support is provided by my team. You can reach them at info@goonlinetrainings.com if you need any support on software installation in your laptops. 24 by 7 lab support is provided by me. The course validity is 6 months. That means if you join the course, whatever be the reason, if you are not able to, proceed it further, within 6 months you should be able to, join the course and redo it. We don't take not even single penny extra. And even though you complete course for one batch, and if you wanted to repeat for the second time, within 6 months, you should be able to repeat multiple times and no extra cost is asked. Am I clear? So in 6 months duration, you should be able to, attend the course multiple times. So this is the validity of the course. And without asking questions, you should be able to rejoin the batch if you wanted to rejoin it. But if you continuously discontinuing joining, then that will be a problem for you. But make sure that at least one batch you complete fully. But the duration is 6 months. Now, if you have any other questions, you can reach me anytime at 9000075637. This is my direct number, and this is my WhatsApp number, and this is my mail ID bhaskarjogi@gmail.com. If you need any assistance from my team, you can reach trainings at goonlinetrainings.com, and this is their WhatsApp number 96421 43942. Am I clear? If they don't respond, you can also call me or you can also ping me so that I will be in touch with you. I can support you if you have any questions. So software and everything my team is going to be providing after this demo. You can just mail them at trainings@goonlinetrainings.com or info@goonlinetrainings.com. Any mail ID you can use them, or you can also call them at 96421 43942. You can also ping them in the WhatsApp. These two are the WhatsApp number. You can use them and call them, either me or them. Am I clear? So these are the things that I am going to be covering as part of the course. Daily videos are provided. Make sure that you have to download the video, keep it in your local computer. If you don't do it, the recorded video will get removed automatically after 2 to 3 days time. So if you ask me, sir, I did not download that video, then I don't keep any videos in my laptop. I will be deleting them. You will be the loser if you don't download the video at any cost. Clear? So that is your responsibility. Now, what are the topics that we're going to be covering? Introduction to DBMS and RDBMS, uh, SQL Server history, database design features, data types, business integrity, primary key, foreign key, unique key, null check constraints, etc., system databases, SQL commands, GDL, DML, TCL, DCL, writing simple queries to complex queries, TSQL programming, ranking functions, common table expressions, temporary tables, all of them are going to be covering. Views and indexed views, triggers, store procedures, cursors, functions, transactions, logs, concurrency, indexes and performance tuning, and case studies. 3 case studies are provided within 3 to 4 days time. When the lab starts, the case studies are given to you. You have to practice them. So these are the topics that we're going to be covering. If you need any other topics, you can ask me anytime. Am I clear? So maximum things I'm going to be covering very basic level to advanced level. You can compare this training, with other trainings. You'll come to know what is that we're covering, what is that others covering, and let us understand why database management system is invented. Introduction to database management system we're going to be starting now. If you have any questions before I start, you can just ask me now if you have something. Otherwise, we are ready to start introduction to database management system. Then we'll see history of SQL Server and everything. Am I clear? Now, in 1920, that is when Charles Babbage is invented a computer, right? In 1920, Charles Babbage has invented a computer. After that, people are communicating with the computers with the help of binary language, zeros and ones, right? And 1930 and 1940s, you have a language called A language. You have a language called B language, right? To communicate with the computers. So people were, using a language called binary. Binary means zeros and ones. So if you wanted to give some kind of a signal, you have to give, zeros and ones as a bytes, and so that the computer can understand very, very easily. But the problem is that instead of a zero, when you press one, it will be very problem for you. You cannot identify very, very easily. So for the human being cannot understand zeros and ones, it was very, very difficult for the human beings. Then people have to, invent a language, English like a language. The first language they invented language called A language. Okay. After that, we got a language called B language. Okay. And later in 1960s, okay, and C language got invented in Bell Laboratories of America. Okay, so the founder is that Dennis Ritchie. So Dennis Ritchie is the guy who invented this language to communicate with the computers. So they have invented this language in Bell Laboratories of America. Clear? So this has become very, very popular. C language has become very, very popular to communicate with the computer. So after that, we got in early 70s, and this time we got one more language called C++ language. Okay, so C language has some kind of an issues, and a lot of programming we were not able to with the C language. So a lot of features are missing. It is not able to tolerate the business requirements and everything. So people had to invent C++. So it is nothing but advanced of C language only. When people are saying C++, you can think as advanced of C. Okay, so C++ means it is advancement of C language only. So all the syntax of C language will work, but apart from that, you will have some more extra features got added, and this is completely OOPS oriented language. OOPS concepts and everything got implemented. So this is how the history about the languages. Then after early 80, we got Java, .NET, and a lot of other languages got introduced into the market. Now you have Android, PHP, this one, that one. Lot many languages are available, but in early 60s and 70s, we have only these two languages are there, to communicate with the computers. Let us understand what is the purpose of a language. Okay, so what is that a language can do? So that's what is very, very important for you to understand, for me to also explain. A language like C or C++, okay, so what they do, their languages, these are, can do, for example, if you provide, why is that the people are going to be using computers? So it is not to communicate with the computers, right? So I wanted to communicate with the computers. After communicating, I wanted to do some activity with the computer. What is that activity a language can do? I have to supply lot of data to the computers and with the language, and the language can process the data. Okay, I don't want to simply say hi to the computer and computer also will say hi to you. So that is not the language purpose. Okay, so language means it is there just like English language only. We can communicate with the computers, but what is the purpose of a language? So I can give some kind of instructions. What instructions normally we give? We give lot of instructions with the language, and what is that this guy can do? Language can take instructions, and what they can do, they can process the data. So this is what a language can do. This is the advantage of a language. Okay, with the help of a language you can communicate to the computers, and you can supply lot of data to the computers. So for example, you are opening a website, you try to do something, you are providing lot of data, and the website is taking the data. The website may be created with the help of a C, C++, Java, .NET. So you provide lot of data to that. Okay. So what a language can do? Language can process the data, but what language cannot do? That is also very, very important for us, right? So what language cannot do? That is the negative point. Language cannot store data. So this is a big irritation or a big issue with the language. Any language you take, C, C++, Java, .NET, PHP, Android, X, Y, Z, any language, when you have language can be used to interact with the computers. That means you're supplying a lot of data to the computers with the help with the help of a language, and these languages, it's just like a English like languages. But what is it we communicate? We supply a lot of data. When you supply a lot of data to the computers, when you supply a lot of data to C and C++, and the computer cannot store the data anywhere, or language cannot store data anywhere. So language only process the data. You give the 10 numbers to computer, you give 10 numbers to C language, enter first number, enter second number, enter third number. It will be putting all the data into the memory, and it will be telling what is the complete total. The total is 99, total is 100, total is 1000. So it can do some kind of a processing. So summing operation, finding average, finding minimum, maximum, sorting the numbers, and a lot of things it can do. A language cannot store data. So that is the big issue of the language even today. Any language you take, .NET cannot store data. You take Java, Java is a language, cannot store data. Am I clear? So these languages invented, as we know, 1960s and 70s time, right? Now, during that period in America, Bell Laboratories people have created what is called as a one small application. Okay, they have developed one small application with the help of this language. This is a small app or application, a computer application. So this is what is called railway ticket booking application. Okay, anybody can easily book the train tickets using this application. Am I clear? So which is a computer based application being developed and given, so anybody can easily book a train tickets with the help of this application. But the issue is that C, C++, when they get the data, this application, because developed with the help of C and C++, this application cannot store data. What the people have done that time, they have invented one idea. The idea is called, let us store the data in a flat file, because a lot of data you supply at the time of booking a train ticket. Okay, so customer name, customer age, gender, and from station to station, payment you made, and the PNR number, ticket number, seat number, lot of information has to be stored somewhere, and that will get printed onto the paper, and the paper is given to you. So whatever is printed, that is also need to be stored in the somewhere. So we are not able to store the data as part of C or C++. So intelligently, people have used one more application called flat file, called as a notepad, and these are also called as a text files. Okay, so all these are synonyms only. So people will say flat file or notepad or text files. You have to create this, and anybody can go to a train reservation counters, so they should be able to book a train ticket. So this is you nothing but a customer can visit any railway reservation counter. So there will be one more guy, he will be taking your request and is going to be booking your train ticket. So that was the initial thought. So the customer visited this, and the customer wanted to book a train ticket. Now he's providing lots of data. Okay, he's providing lots of data. So ticket number is 1234. His name is called Raj, and male, and age is 32, and he wanted to travel on 25th, let us say May 2020. He wanted to go from, let us say, Hyderabad city to some other city. Delhi he wanted to go, and he got a seat number, let us say 22. So let us say S8. Okay, so S8 is the coach number, and slash some 33. This is the seat number, and he made Indian rupees, let us say, $1,000. And this is how the data is being stored, and the same thing is printed onto the paper, and the same will be given to the customer as well. Like that, one more customer also can book the tickets, and the next ticket number is this, and John is the guy, male, and 45 years. He wanted to travel, let us say, 27th of May and 2020, and he wanted to go from this city to some other city, let us say Kanpur. He wanted to go, and seat number is given, so let us say S1 and slash 22, and he paid some amount of $1,200. So like that, the data is being stored, and there is no issue at all, and people are happy about the implementation of the application. So many people are going to the railway reservation counters, offices, and these customers are supplying the data. There is one more guy who's using your data and booking the tickets, and the printed tickets are being given to the people. So now, when you store this much of a so much of a data in the uh, flat file, what are the issues that you may get it? So this is the issue. I'm storing all the data, so this data has to be stored somewhere, right? So people have to save this file. So let me save the file. I may be saving this file in a computer called D drive, and I'll say that train tickets. Okay, train tickets is the information. So .txt format, I should be able to store. So it has been stored in a flat file. Flat file means, I told you, right, which is completely a notepad data. So this is how people are storing the data. There is no issue at all. But now the issue starts when the data is more and more. Lot of issues got encountered with the flat file. What are the flat file issues? Okay, when we store large amount of data in the flat files are nothing but notepads. The data is being stored in the notepads like this. And what is the issue with the notepad? Let us understand. The first issue is that security. Security means people who are having the access to these computers. Okay, so I can use my computer and any others also. So I am also booking train tickets. I'm the employee of this company, so not only me, others also can use the computer, but anybody can easily steal the data, anybody can easily tamper the data, anybody can easily delete the data as well. If they delete the row, we don't know that the row has been deleted. Am I clear? So anybody can access this, and anybody can simply temper the data, can simply, delete the data. So lot of things can happen. So that is the big issue. So no security. So anybody can easily temper the data. So that is one thing that you should be able to understand. Okay. So first is the issue, security. The second one is that there is a size issue. What do you mean by size issue? That time, I am talking about 1960s and 70s, at that time only. So we cannot store unlimited data in the flat file. There is a limitation. So that time you can have 1,000 rows or 2,000 rows per flat file. If one flat file is full, you cannot store more and more data. People have to delete the file. Before deleting the file, they need to make a copy of the file and delete the data from this file and take that new data. So lot of data size issues, so that is occurred. So people have to delete the data, or they need to create a new file. Existing file, they have to move it to one more computer or move it to one more drive. So lot of size issues. It cannot take unlimited data every time. That is the issue. So that is also one more thing that you need to understand. Am I clear? So, lot of data integrity issues. What do you mean by integrity? Integrity means correctness, honesty. Okay, so data integrity has to be there. Integrity means what? Correctness, honesty. So that is what we can say. So if I go to this data, no proper security, anybody can tamper the data. Raj is supposed to be male, but somebody, entered this as ABC. Can we have ABC as a gender? And somebody has entered the date as a 205 and 54 and 2020 like this, and the people are saving the data. So anybody can easily, manipulate the data, modify the data. This guy will not ask you any question whenever you save the data. It is simply saved. So if you open the data, you will be able to get the wrong data always, because people have changed. So this is the data train and Hyderabad. So people, when they say sun to moon, any hacker, when they trying to come here and trying to modify a lot of things over there, so then they're saying sun to moon, I would like to go on this date, and seat number is something, I paid some ABC amount. So lot of data is manipulated, lot of data can be, completely changed, and people are simply saving it. And flat file is not asking any question. So flat file is completely dummy. So this is the big issue. Because of the security, anybody can easily tamper the data. So this is the big issue. Data integrity, correctness is not there. What do you mean by correctness here? So here there is no station called sun, and there's no station called moon. And this is not the way that we should store the dates. And this is not the way that you should have the gender information. And somebody says that age is this much. Can we have this much of age to the people? So everything is completely gone bad, and the people are completely saving the data. This is the big headache to the customer. If anybody got the privileges to go here, they can easily tamper the data, they can easily delete the data, or whatever the data they're inserting, that can be easily modified. So correctness will not be maintained throughout the program. If you don't have the correct data in the database, now tomorrow people will not be interested in this type of applications. So if you go to anywhere and you're wanted to get your data back, for example, you go to Citibank and you wanted to know what is your balance, and your balance is $1,000 or 1,000 rupees, and the computer is telling you $500. Will you agree that? And sometimes it is telling you 1,000, sometimes it's telling you 500, 2,000, 3,000, but you're not doing any transactions. The amount is constant data. You're not doing any transactions nowadays because of corona issues, right? We have a corona issues and nobody is doing any transactions. But even though no transactions are done, the computer is showing 1,000 one time, 100 one time, 250 one time. So the data is completely corrupted in the Citibank application. So if that is corrupted, that means integrity is lost. That means data integrity is not there. Would you recommend this application to anybody else? You never recommend this application to anybody else. You say that Citibank is useless. Citibank data is not able to give you clearly. Sometimes it is telling you correct information. Sometimes it is giving you bad information. I don't like to, create or open an account in citibank.com. So that means data integrity, correctness to the data is very, very important. Otherwise, the business will get collapsed. Am I clear? So today, if the data is tampered like this, any business can be collapsed very, very easily. Now, I wanted to store the data, retrieve the data. What language we were, using to store the data? We were using C and C++. To retrieve the data, you should also use a language. So people may ask you a lot of, questions to retrieve the data. Okay. So what is that they wanted to know? They wanted to know how many people have traveled from station A to station B during last year, January. And I would like to get the information. Okay. To ask this question, you have to write a complex program, and the program will read the data, and there is a report will be given to you. If you are a customer or the business user, a railway people wanted to know what is the sales happened last 5 years from station A to station B, and how many trains have traveled from this station to the station, how many passengers or the customers have traveled. I wanted to have that kind of a report. To create a report, to retrieve the data also, it is very, very slow. You have to write a language called C language only. Okay. C language only you should use to communicate to the flat file, whether to store the data, retrieve the data. The C language is even today very complex programming. You try to learn C language today. C language has a lot of features. So mainly it has a it has a concept called pointers, double pointers, triple pointers, arrays of pointers, lot of other complex things are available. If you wanted to store the data, you should write lot of C language code you need to write. Even to retrieve the data, lot of C language code you need to write. And this was very, very complex. A normal developer, normal computer programmer cannot handle this much of a complex programs. Clear? So this is also very, very complex. That time people are completely using C or C++ to interact with the flat file, to store the data, to retrieve the data. C language or C++ they were using, they were very, very complex in the nature. And to retrieve data also, it is very, very slow. Why it is very, very slow, I'll tell you. Because they don't have any kind of indexing. Okay. So they don't have any kind of an indexes. If you don't have any indexes, it is very, very time consuming process to get the data. Let me give you a simple example. I'm the teacher. I'm the professor in the college. Okay. I'm the professor in the college. I asked one of my student to store my pens, markers, and duster in a cupboard. Okay. I invited Arjun, or I invited Gaurav. I told that, hey Gaurav, you store the pens and markers, I need them tomorrow. Okay. And in my college we have 100 classrooms, classroom number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that we have 100 classrooms. Each classroom is having lot of cupboards. Okay. Lot of cupboards are available. Each classroom having, let us say, we have 20 to 30 cupboards. Cupboard number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. Each one is having at least 10, 20 cupboards. I have 100 classrooms. Now I am taking a lot of classes, not only to one class, I am taking to the multiple batches of people in my college. Now I gave my pens and markers to the Gaurav or Arjun to store somewhere, and Arjun has kept the pens in classroom number 55 and cupboard number 3 or cupboard number 9. So this is the thing he has told me. So he stored the pen somewhere. He created an index. What is the classroom number is telling me? Classroom number is 55. and cupboard number, almara number, something like this, cupboard, you can say. Okay, cupboard number, let us say ninth cupboard is stored the pens. Now he is informed the index, and tomorrow that guy is absent. So I know the index. So tomorrow morning I'll come to the college. I know that the pens are stored in classroom number 55. I go to that classroom. I open the cupboard number 9. I should be able to retrieve the pens very, very easily. So this is called indexing. Clear? Okay, let us take one more example. I have given the pens to Arjun. Arjun is stored somewhere. He did not inform the index. And the next day he is absent. Now his phone is not ringing, not reachable. He said, I'm getting corona issues. I'm not able to, attend the class today. So that is an issue. I wanted to retrieve my pens. If you don't know where you store the pens, do you know how to retrieve the pens? You don't have any other option. Go to classroom number 1, check all the cupboards. Go to classroom number 2, check all the cupboards. Go to classroom number 3, check all the cupboards. This is what is called very, very slow. That means if you don't have any clue, I wanted to know how many passengers have traveled, let us say from Hyderabad to Delhi. So this is my data. Okay, so I wanted to know how many passengers have traveled Hyderabad to Delhi in the current year. So I wanted to know where is the Hyderabad Delhi data. So if I don't have any clue, I have to read row by row, row by row. Is it Hyderabad data? Is it Hyderabad data? Is it Hyderabad data? I have to read row by row, row by row, row by row. I have a couple of rows. I have a couple of files, and each file has again couple of rows, data. So definitely reading row by row, reading row by row, it is very, very difficult because you don't have any indexes. Where is the data is stored for Hyderabad and Delhi? In which page it is being stored? And which cupboard you kept your pens? If you have that kind of an information, if you have that index, then it is very, very easy. If you don't have index where this data is being stored, that kind of index kind of a concept is not implemented that time, so retrieval is very, very slow. Am I clear? So people are talking about this, and you should be also need to know, to retrieve the data you have to write the complex C language programs. Retrieval data is very, very complex, very, very slow, because no easy language is there to write the programming, and no indexes are available. So in order to retrieve the data very, very quickly. So that is also one more thing. You are lucky if the data is available in the first page. If you're lucky if the data is available in the last page, and you have millions of records are available, millions of rows are available in the files, and that is where the issue starts. Am I clear? So then data concurrency issue, that is also a big issue people have invented. What do you mean by concurrency? Concurrency means same resource is being used by multiple people at a time, called as a concurrency. For example, I have one classroom, and I wanted to use the classroom at morning 10 o'clock. One more faculty also wanted to use the classroom at 10 o'clock. One more faculty also wanted to use the classroom at 10 o'clock. So there is a one resource that is called classroom being trying to used by three faculties, and at the same time will give you a lot of concurrencies. Now let me come to our situation. What do you mean by that? The same file, one guy is trying to book the train tickets, and when you go to reservation counters, you have one more guy. This is also one more application, one more counter. So you can also go to this counter and try to book the tickets. So what is happening? You are going here and you trying to book the train ticket at morning 10 o'clock. Okay, whether you book the train ticket or this guy is booking the train ticket, every time this application is writing the data to the same flat file. What happens if this guy is writing? Let us understand, this guy is trying to write something. Now if this guy is writing, and this guy has to wait, because same people, same time, more than one guy is trying to book the data, and application, the tickets. And what happens is that the same data is being stored at the same time is impossible if this guy is using, and definitely this guy has to wait. If this guy is done, then you have to give the permission to this guy can do the activity. So even though you have multiple computers, but one after the other sequential train ticket booking is happening. Okay, not the parallel bookings are happening. But today, everybody can book the train tickets parallelly. You can also book at 10 o'clock, I can also book at 10 o'clock. Concurrency issues are not there in the current programming applications, but early in 60s and 70s we were having a lot of concurrency means being, same time many people wanted to use the same application. So at 10 o'clock only, I wanted to book the train tickets, and you can also book train tickets at 10 o'clock. There is no issue at all now. But that time, if one guy is booking at 10 o'clock, other guy cannot, do the things, and the same data and the same file cannot be opened. If you open the file and the other people cannot open this file. So if you open this in the read and write mode, other people can open this as a read only mode. So they cannot write any data here. So that is the big issue. Am I clear? So when you ask me, not only these 7 issues, there are thousands of issues got created. Okay. When you store the data in the flat files, when you store the data in the flat files, these are the issues got created, and people are to worried. Okay, we are able to store the data somehow in a flat file, but this is not the sophisticated system. Storing the data in the flat file is not the very good thing to do it. So we need to invent a software or proper, uh, tools we have to invent to store the data. So these are the issues got created. Am I clear? To resolve these issues in 1970s, lot of teams have been created in America. Okay. So in 1970s, people came to know we cannot store the data. Lot of data in the flat files will get lot of issues. In 1970s, okay, lot of frames, especially IBM and other teams have invented one more concept called database management system. So this is a completely DBMS concept, which is not a software, database management system. So if I have a large amount of data to be stored, I need to have a proper software. If I wanted to manage the data, database management system, base means banking. So large amount of data I wanted to store. So to store the data, I wanted to have a beautiful system to be invented. So this is the concept got created. This concept is going to be addressing all these problems. So these are the issues. Security is the issue, there is a solution in the RDBMS concept. Size is the issue, there is a solution in the DBMS concept. Data integrity is the issue. Nobody should tamper the data. Nobody should, delete the data. Nobody should, change the data. So that is the issue. There is a solution inside this. And to retrieve the data, it is very, very slow because no indexes are implemented. You must, implement an index. This is a issue, and there is a solution. And C language is the big issue to involve with, and DBMS is invented a new language. Okay, data concurrency is the big issue here, and here having without no data concurrency issues, they have implemented a solution. Okay, for each and everything, these people got solutions, and these are the issues. And the DBMS concept also recommended a new language. They were implemented, and along with the concept, the language is called as a SQL language. Clear? Structured query language, a new language got implemented. Otherwise, you and me today has to write a language called C language only. C language is very, very complex. Everybody cannot use. To store the data, retrieve the data, why should I go in for a C language? Why people have to, use this much of a complex language? Can we also create one more language? So in 1970s, DBMS concept is released, and one more language got created, and this concept and this language as came by or invented by IBM folks. Okay, in 1970s you got database management concept, which is a purely concept, which is not a software, right? Which is not a software. And they have also recommended one more language, structured query language. Am I clear? So SQL is means, what is that? SQL. So SQL is a structured query language that people have invented. So 1970s, you got to also have these languages. And IBM folks in the same year, they have invented ASQL, structured query language. Okay. So this is purely for to storing the data, to retrieving the data in any tools that the DBMS is implemented there, and which is very powerful tool to store the data. Okay, to store and retrieve the data. So remember this. This is very easy language. Let me give you one simple example. I have a big knife. Knife can do any task. You can cut the tree. You can cut anything because knife is very bigger and very strong. But with the help of the knife, can I shave the beard? I will not be able to shave, right? I have to use a blade. So blade is a small tool as the language. Using that, you should be able to shave yourself, right? So blade is very powerful to shave the beard and everything, but you cannot use your knife. Knife is just a C language. C language cannot be implemented everywhere. I wanted to shave the beard, so that is where we can use a small blade. The blade like language is SQL language, a very small tiny language, a small language, very beautiful language. Anybody can learn very easily. Even though you're not a IT professional, still you should be able to learn. You're a non-IT guy. You should learn a language called SQL language, structured query language. RDBMS database management system is going to be implementing this. Now we got lots of varieties of types of DBMS systems are created. These are different types of DBMS systems are invented. So one type is called, the first one is called network DBMS concept. Okay, network DBMS concept got created. This was the utter failure. So it was not handling proper things. To handle all these things, network DBMS is the completely failure concept. So which is a one type of the program. Using that, you should store the data. For example, I wanted to build a road to my town. So I wanted to construct a road. The road could be cement road or a mud road or could be tar road, or you can have any other road. So there are various types you can use. Like that, I wanted to store the data. You can have different types of the concepts. One is called network DBMS. The second one is called hierarchical database management system. This is also utter failure in the market. Clear? And in IBM people only, the next one was invented. Okay, 1970s to 76 this time. This is what is called RDBMS concept, which was big success. Even today, people are using RDBMS, relational database management concept, invented again by IBM folks only. Okay, so it is 1970s to 76. Lot of R&D has happened in IBM. So there is a guy, there's a doctor called uh, EF Codd. Clear? EF Codd is the doctor, is a scientist, was part of the IBM that time. He invented relational algebra, relational mathematics at theory. Using that, this concept being implemented. Am I clear? So RDBMS is one of the database management concept, and invented by Dr. E.F. Codd. He was working as a mathematician in IBM in 1970s and 60s, and he was also working for a lot of computer applications at that time, right? So network DBMS and HDBMS is completely gone, and at the later we got RDBMS. RDBMS is a one of the DBMS concepts. It is a type of the RDBMS. Okay, it is a one more type in the DBMS. Relational database management concept got created, and the people have recommended only to use which language? SQL language to interact with the RDBMS computers. Clear? So now people have invented this one, and these are the RDBMS software, or you can say tools got created. What are the tools? IBM given DB2 software. So this was the RDBMS software at that time. If you wanted to store the data, go in for this tool. Clear? So then Oracle was the popular RDBMS software by Oracle Corporation. SQL Server again from Microsoft. Okay, this is by MS. And you have Teradata from the Teradata Corporation. This is also RDBMS software, or people will say RDBMS tool. RDBMS is not a language, be clear. RDBMS is going to be telling you how to store the data, how to retrieve the data. That's it. So these can help you to store the data. Teradata, then you have MySQL, then you have Netezza. Netezza again from IBM. Recently, Netezza software, this Netezza company purchased by IBM. So Netezza, we have PostgreSQL, lot of RDBMS softwares got created, and many people are using these softwares. So IBM was playing a major role that time to inventing RDBMS concepts. If anybody is having these Codd rules. So this fellow has invented 12 Codd rules, 12 principles. Okay, what are the principles? RDBMS software means they have to have the SQL language to be implemented, not the C language. RDBMS software should have RDBMS software should have an indexes. RDBMS software should have, they should resolve data into concurrency issues. RDBMS, should have data integrity checks. That means whenever you store the data, make sure that you're storing the proper data. You should not have wrong data to be stored as part of RDBMS, and proper security has to be implemented. Sizing issues should not be there. So all these, he has created a 12 Codd rules. Okay, if your software is implementing at least 10 rules, if this software is implementing at least minimum 10 Codd rules, your software is called as a RDBMS software. Am I clear? So minimum 10 Codd rules if you implement, so your software is called as a RDBMS software. So he has given 12 rules. These are called as it Codd rules. 12 Codd rules invented by Dr. E.F. Codd. One rule says you should maintain data in concurrency issues. That means what? If more than one guy is trying to access your data, you should be able to allow them, and you should be able to have some kind of a technology to take care of them. You have to have indexes as part of your software so that the data retrieval is faster. You should not use C language, which is very, very complex. You must use another language called SQL. Am I clear? So like that, these are the things being implemented. If you learn any software, you must know, or you will also learn a language called as, which language you're going to be learning? SQL language, structured query language you will be learning. When you learn a DB2, you should learn this language. If you learn Oracle also, you should learn this language. If you learn SQL Server is also, you should learn this language. Remember, SQL Server is a software, SQL is a language. People have taken the same name. Your name is also Trump, my name is also Trump. We cannot become presidents of America. So never say that this SQL is something and equal to this. No, this is SQL Server is a software name. So inside this software we are going to be using a language called SQL language only. So we are going to be providing a you know commands with the help of SQL. SQL stands for structured query language. Microsoft taken the name as it is, and they have said their software is called as SQL Server. Teradata, MySQL, Netezza, PostgreSQL. If you learn any of them, you are going to be learning a language called as a SQL language. So people may ask you, do you know SQL? If they ask you, do you know SQL means if you know DB2 also, you know SQL. If you know Oracle also, you know SQL. If you know Teradata also, you know SQL. If you know SQL Server is also, you know SQL. So if somebody asks you, do you know SQL? That means they're asking you, do you know any RDBMS software? That is the meaning of that. If they're asking clearly, do you know SQL Server? Then you can say, no, no, no. I know MySQL or I know Netezza. Am I clear? So SQL can be pronounced SQL or SQL. So never, never write like this. SQL. So this is not the right spelling. This is a wrong spelling. You never, never, never write like this. So SQL to be written only like this. Am I clear? But people will be using as a SQL or SQL. SQL is a language. SQL Server is a software. You have to understand this clearly. Now, what are the history of the SQL Server? Because we are going to be learning SQL Server from tomorrow, from Monday. We're going to be seeing the SQL Server. Let us see the history. SQL Server is completely a RDBMS software, and the first version is released. Okay, SQL Server number 1 version is released in 1989. April 26th in America, okay, which is a purely RDBMS software, or you can say RDBMS tool, which is not a language. RDBMS is not a language. SQL is a language. SQL is not a RDBMS software. SQL is a language. Be clear. C, C++, Java, .NET, SQL, all of them are languages. Oracle, DB2, SQL Server, all these are softwares. Be clear on this. So 1989. So this is purely RDBMS software. Then we got lot of versions, 3.0. Then we got 5.0, right? Then later we got 7.0. Then SQL Server 2000 got released in year 2000. Then later SQL Server implemented 2005 software in 2005. In this only Microsoft is included. RDBMS is there already. In this only Microsoft is added one more thing, MSBA. Okay, so here we are going to be having SSIS, SSAS and SSRS. Today SQL Server software is not purely RDBMS tool, okay, but also data analytics tool. MSBA is called as a Microsoft Business Intelligence. This is integration tool, ETL tool, analysis tool, and this is a reporting tool. So these are the tools got created in 2005, and later you got this version, then 2012, then 2014, then 2016, then 2017. Current version is called 2019. If you have SQL Server 2019 software, so you will be able to get RDBMS plus MSBI also will get installed. SSIS, SS stands for SQL Server. Remember this, SQL, S and S. SQL Server Integration Services, which is ETL software, analysis services and reporting services. And these are the softwares that you are going to be having when you install SQL Server. So SQL Server current version is this. So what are the things that you have to install? So Windows 10 you need to have. Okay, and minimum 2 GB of RAM you should have. Any processor you can have, there is no issue. And a minimum 100 GB of space in the C drive to install the software. So that's it. You have to install MS Office compulsorily. MS Office 2007 or later you must install, okay? And WinZip need to be there, and PDF has to be installed, and SQL Server current version or previous version also you can take it. 2017, 2019. So one of the software you should be able to take and install in your laptops. Am I clear? If you need the software to be installed, you can reach us. Right? That's what I told you, right? Software and installation support if you need, info@goonlinetrainings.com or trainings@goonlinetrainings.com. You reach, and this is their WhatsApp number 96421 43942. My team's WhatsApp number. You can just call them and ask them for the software and installation support as well. And if you have any other support, lab support, if you wanted to have it, you can just call me on this number. Okay, so this is the SQL Server or RDBMS history. So we are going to be starting new batch from Monday. Clear? So Monday means Sunday night in USA, people. The timing is, it is morning 6:30, not 8 o'clock. Okay, so morning this time I'm going to be starting a new batch from Monday. So 8 o'clock is not the batch. Today is Saturday, everybody will be free. So today I have conducted at 8 o'clock, but from Monday the SQL Server new batch is going to be starting. Clear? So this is a new batch. If you miss the batch, you have to wait for 2.5 months. So there is no other batch is going to start another 2 months. Now we're in April. So if you need again new batch, so May, June, July only, July mid, the next batch will start, or the otherwise probably in August first week. Okay. So Monday 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. IST timings, and Monday to Friday only we'll have classes. No classes on Saturday and Sunday. Be clear. So no classes on Saturday and Sunday. Same meeting ID you can use to connect Monday class morning at 6:30 a.m. Same meeting ID you can use. If you have any questions after the class, you can ask me, or you can also call me in this. So this video also I'm going to be giving it to you. You send me a mail, bhaskarjogi@gmail.com, because I don't have your email IDs, and please send me a testing mail. Okay, and so that I can reply and send you this mail to you. Same meeting ID you can use to attend the classes from Monday. So if you miss any class, don't worry, that class recording will be given to you, but don't miss any class. If you have any networking issues or power cut issues are there, no problem, but at least download the video uh, from me on the same day and watch the video on the same day and ready for the next day class. Am I clear? So these are the things we have it. And MSBI also we're having a new batch is just started. If anybody wanted to go in for MSBI class, okay, the new batch is started morning 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So people also can start from Monday. Okay, so this is a new batch started just 2 days back. The videos I can provide, the earlier videos I can provide, so you can continue this, and we will give you one more meeting ID if you are interested in this. Clear? And people are asking one more thing, that is Power BI. Power BI is not replacement for MSBI. Okay, be clear. Power BI is completely a advanced tool for SSRS, SQL Server reporting services we had, right? So this is advanced tool to this, and many faculties are saying wrongly Power BI is replacement for MSBI. That is completely wrong. MSBI is having so ETL and analysis and lot of other things are available. So Power BI is also from Microsoft. You need to install separately. It is not coming with the SQL Server. SQL Server does not have Power BI software. You have to download from the Google. Yes. So this is also, we're having a new batch. It started today. I think in the morning 8 o'clock. Weekend batches is going to be starting every Saturday, Sunday. We'll be having 3 hours will be there. So this will be for 25 days. Okay, we are going to be having Power BI 25 days with the DAX and plus tabular model. Okay, so this is what we are implementing. So Power BI is also starting, and we are also having Tableau training, Power BI training, Tableau, and we have other trainings as data warehousing, modeling, and SQL Server development, SQL DBA, and a lot of other courses. We are having AWS, Amazon Web Services, even SQL Azure is also there. SQL Azure is a cloud computing. So we are going to be learning SQL Server development. Okay, SQL Server and SQL Azure is completely different, and this is a separate course, and which is a 40 days course. right? We're having separate batches for all of them. If you're interested, let us know, and you can reach us in this email ID. If you have any friends, you can also recommend us. You ask them to visit goonlinetrainings.com, and daily videos will be providing for all courses. And these are the things I would like to share. If you have any questions, you're welcome, guys. And from Monday, we're going to be starting morning 6:30. Be clear. So the same meeting ID we're going to be having. Okay, Monday means what is the date? So it is April 6th, right? New batch. So this is called April 6th, 2020. So same meeting ID you can use, guys. If you have any questions, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. Do you have any questions? You can unmute the mic and ask. Thank you, guys. If you have, let me know.